everyone? Tommy Hawksblood here. Lots going on. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit up. I just got attacked by a bunch of fire ants. I'm digging a trench. As you might have heard, Hawaii is supposed to have a hurricane coming near it. How close it gets, we don't know, but it's starting to pour like anything for the past couple hours. So I'm out in the pouring rain digging a trench around the house so the water doesn't flood us out. Lots going on outside in the real world, around everywhere else too. So, you saw my topic for today. I'm sorry I'm not together completely. I was outside. I didn't realize it was so late. But today, I'm going to try to open a chat room. It's not opening right now. Let me see if I can pull it up somewhere else. Hold on. Where is it? I'm not getting my chat room open. I don't know what's going on. So that means I'm not going to be able to answer questions unless you call in. The number is 347-945-7207. All right. Please call in. Questions, answers, whatever. All right. The word that I want to start with is spiritual. We've been abusing it and abusing it so much. People accept it as like a reality. I don't know what kind of reality spiritual means to most people, but I look at it from my view, from the way I perceive life. What's happening on the planet today? What is really going on? Hello?
Oh.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm just listening to the show. That's all.
Oh, you're just going to hang out in the background?
Yeah, why?
Well, if you got a question, you can ask me.
Okay, sure. I'll ask a question.
No problem. I'll leave you right where you are. So just remember, I can hear you, okay?
Sure,
so,
okay.
We got into a lot of topics on Sunday. I didn't get halfway through what I wanted to get through. So if anybody was tuned in Sunday, we're going to be following part 2 of that. So there's a lot that I didn't cover, so I'm going to try to get into all that as well, because I feel we have so much to get into. I want to talk about spiritual first, spirituality, what it means to religions, what it means to, quote, so-called spiritual people, and religious people, and any other kind of people, even atheists and everybody else that's in the mix with everybody. Now, let's start with, there's over 2,000 religions, and I'm sure most people don't know any other than the one that they studied. Maybe just a little bit about the opposite. I mean, when I was Protestant, when I was little, we knew a lot about Catholics because everybody I knew was Catholic. So, and then my neighborhood became Spanish, and the Jewish people started moving out. So it was what I learned when I was little about religions, which wasn't much. I went to church until I was 14, baptized a Protestant. But at 14 in my church, when I was being baptized, I was allowed. I went through confirmation, as well. And I was allowed to ask the minister a couple questions, which was a great thing. So I had my great privilege of going to my minister and asking him 3 questions. He couldn't answer them. I mean, like, what was God? What's God look like? What do you do in heaven? And he said, nobody knows them. So I told myself right then and there, here's a religion that nobody knows what's really going to happen in the end. What heaven looks like, what you can do when you get there. Well, we have so many things going on this planet, and we're all claiming to be spiritual. I don't, but many people do. So, if you start exploring religions, which I did, I went through about 14 religions after I turned 14 and decided I no longer wanted to be a Protestant. I went into witchcraft. I studied that for years. I learned a lot. I mean, people assume everything's bad or everything's good. If it's something they like, it's good. If it's something they don't like, it's bad. But when we talk about witchcraft, black magic, white magic, Okian, Keokian magic, I'm sure most people don't even know what that means, but it's probably the most powerful magic that people used to use. Even Nostradamus had books that were covered with human skin and stuff like that. And then near the end, he had to burn all his books, otherwise he would have been killed right away. So, magic, good or bad, call it what you want. There's stage magic, which I did for half of my life as well, which is a lot different because that's making people believe and see something that's not real. But is that important? Thank you for that. The audio is good. Okay. But when I started dealing with religions, I found one common thing: the lack of knowledge. Great stories. And all we hear over and over again is story after story after story. And why is that? Because people want to believe good things. I mean, it's not a bad thing to want to believe in good things. But I say I'm a realist, meaning I'm as real as it gets. I live within the truth of what's real. Not the truth that I want to be real, not the truth that some people say is real, but what I can perceive, what I can experience, and what I see other people experiencing. And just because one person experiences it doesn't mean it's good for the whole world, or even a big percentage of the world. We have our own individual experiences in our lifetime, and they're to help us grow, not the world grow. So, I mean, a lot of people say they can't tell their experience. Most of them you can. I'm sure once in a while there's an experience you can't, because if it has to do with power and things like that, then you got to be cautious that you don't give that kind of information to the wrong kind of people. So, but as far as magic goes, I mentioned on Sunday about the psychic abilities, and the list is up there. Just type 32 psychic abilities, it'll pull them up. I'm bad with words, and I went through them, but even at the time when I went through them, they didn't have these specific names. Now, there's over like 130 names they use for psychic abilities. You could sneeze, and they'll say that's a certain ability. You throw toothpicks on the ground, that's a certain ability. You throw marbles on the ground, throw leaves on the ground. Everything's a psychic ability in the narrow word of psychic words that they use, and they give it a name. Being able to read smoke, being able to read drops. So it's the real abilities they don't talk about much because very few people even know what they are or understand them. I got the chat room opening. I think it's going to open, so I'll let you know in 2 seconds. So we each are here for ourselves, no matter what people say, no matter what people think. All right, I got the chat room open. Anybody wants to put a question in there? So let me just shrink it down as much as I can. All right. Sorry about this. I'm just all right, the chat room's working. I can get questions in there as well. All right. I lost my chat, my main page now. Hold on. This ain't good. Oh, here it is. All right. I'm going to have to go back and forth, which is kind of weird, but I got thrown out of both. I don't know if you can still hear me. All right, they get the studio back. That's one thing. All right. Sorry about all this. It's my fault. I was out in the pouring rain trying to dig a trench around the house, and I got bit while I'm playing in the weeds, pulling them out and digging a trench. I got bit about 30 times by fire ants. and they are a pain. One of the little things that Hawaii has that they're having a problem with. So, as when I was saying, I went through religions, and they all have something in common. Let me close the window. I'm getting a lot of noise from the pouring rain. Well, it's not supposed to hit till tonight, but that storm is humongous, and it's at a level 5 right now. Anything could happen over the next couple hours, or getting a lot worse. So, when I was going through these religions, the thing that was in common with all of them, they have little knowledge. Knowledge about God, knowledge about death, knowledge about soul. Wouldn't you assume they're the most 3 important parts of any religion? I would. And I don't understand it if you don't believe that. Here's where we're going to go. We're going to go the spiritual way, we're going to go the non-religious way, and the true way. If you're a non-believer, you don't have to have morals, you don't have to have faith. You do what you want. You do what feels good. And that becomes your reality. You're not responsible to anybody. All right. We each grow at a different speed, different level, and I'm talking about way different level. Because when we say, oh, well, we read the Bible, even if you read the Bible or read the Emerald Tablets, the Sumerian Tablets, and that's your truth,